live each day, you know, like it's my last. To not let little things, not let petty things stop me from being who I am. You know, and you know, I decided to take my fitness back into my life. I took, you know, a lot of, you know, the confidence I gained in school to do that. And, you know, I've been through so many issues and problems. You know, I've had my best friend kill himself. I've had my fiance leave me. You know, there's a lot more I can even go into. But I'm still here. I'm still talking about positivity because that's how important it means to me. And it's important that everybody know that, you know, being positive can really have a great outcome. And honestly, if it wasn't for me being positive and outgoing, I would never have met anybody in this panel right here. I've met everybody pretty much here, right here in New York Comic Con, from at least going back about 8 years. So, and you know, one big thing that I'm trying to prove to myself now is that in 2 weeks, even after not doing anything this weekend but cosplaying and enjoying myself, I'm going to be running my first ever marathon. And for me, thank you. It's just, you know, this journey has always been great. And so now we're going to kind of go down the line, and everyone's going to kind of give you, again, their story. And thank you.
So my main thing is be the best version of yourself, and whatever it takes for you to get there, do it. Like, you know, when I was a kid, I was bullied to the point where I didn't want to come outside. I used to stand and wait for the bus, and people would come and take my fare. I had a half fare card because I lived close to my school, so I didn't get a full fare. It almost made me join a gang because I couldn't defend myself, and I figured, you know, if I join a gang, people will leave me alone, right? So that bothered me all the way up to adulthood, right? And around 7 years ago, I decided, you know what? I don't want to feel this way anymore, so I started martial arts, right? And when I started martial arts, I wanted to be the best version of me. I wanted to be a black belt, like that was my main thing. And the thing that pushed me to be the best version of me was Naruto. It was the first anime I watched where the main character sucked. He was terrible at everything that he did. We've seen his ups, his downs, we've seen him try, we've seen him fail. Even the moments where you thought Naruto's gonna be the one to save the day, Sasuke did it. And you're sitting there like, when is this guy gonna have his moment? You know what I'm saying? So he never stopped though. He never stopped trying. He kept going and he kept going. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm gonna take that mentality and apply it to training. And that's exactly what I did. The only thing I couldn't do was eat the way he ate. That's just something I couldn't do. So I tried many different diets, many different nutrition. I tried to go vegetarian, pescatarian, lean meat. What I settled on is being vegan, which is something I never thought that I would ever be able to do, but I did a lot of research on it, and at the moment, I've been vegan now for, it's October now, right? Yeah. It's 10 months. I've been vegan for 10 months, right? It hasn't been easy, but even if I slack off a little bit, slack off meaning eat vegan junk food, I don't feel as sluggish as I did before. And that's what works for me, you know what I'm saying? So my thing is, like I said, just try to be the best version of yourself. Right now I currently am a black belt. I'm also an instructor. And thank you. And the thing that I do is I try to be the best version of themselves. This is a constant thing where I teach. Everybody doesn't come in here to be a fighter. They don't go there to become a black belt. Some people go there for the same reason I went. They were bullied. We have an older guy who had multiple heart surgeries. He's in there. You're not old. At least I don't think you're old. But yeah, but I always try to tell them, you know, you don't have to go with at the pace of the person next to you. You go at the best pace you can. And that's just the thing with me. Just do whatever it takes to be the best version of you. That's it.
I'm 3 times the age of most cosplayers I'm surrounded. I'm usually the oldest in the group. And what I've learned by many years is that everything you do in life has to be based on love and passion. Whatever you do it with, you know, a full heart. And I'm also a teacher, and I've been married with kids for almost 20 years. And the biggest thing I've learned about myself is that I love to educate and I love to lead, but I've also learned from everyone around me, and age really does not define you. It's something that, you know, you can't stop, but if you love something, you do it. I love cosplaying. I love being a ghoul. I love being a ninja. I love being an android in an apocalyptic world. I love being anything I want to be, and I do it with a full heart, knowing very much so that, you know, I am many times the oldest in the group. But in our world of cosplay, it doesn't seem to really matter. But there are people who have said to me, you know, I'm too old for that, or maybe they're too young for that when it comes to cosplaying. And I say, no, if you approach it in a positive way with a full heart, you'll be fine. You'll definitely be fine. Also, I am legally blind. I'm a visually impaired adult, and what I've seen in the cosplay community is how accepting we are towards those with disabilities. And that's something that I'm very passionate about. That being disabled doesn't mean you're unable. Being older is not a disability. Being blind, being physically handicapped, being mentally ill, or having anything to do with mental illness doesn't make you any less of a person than anyone else. And we have to go forward and treat people with kindness and treat ourselves with kindness as well. So whatever your age, whatever your position or challenge or obstacle in life that's in front of you, you have to keep positive, because there are those who will support you, and you are worthwhile. You are worthwhile. Thank you.
So, growing up, I've struggled with the works, you know, body dysmorphia, eating disorders, and depression. I never thought I was fit or I fit the normal body type. I always thought there was something wrong. Sometimes I would even like starve myself or like go on crazy diets just before going out in like revealing clothing, though I never really did it. Or if I had a cosplay shoot or something like that. And ever since graduating and taking on multiple jobs, you know, I grew lethargic. I found myself easily stressed and falling in and out of toxic relationships. And all this really took a toll on me. Like, I've been at my lowest low. I've been suicidal. When I was 16, I asked my parents for a therapist, and all they said to me was, "You're being dramatic." So I'll get to that more later on why saying something like that to somebody who's going through depression is not the best thing to say, but I digress. It's with all this rage and frustration that really became the driving force in my self-betterment. And you know, it took a lot of strength to be where I am today, still standing here, to be honest, and it took a lot of strength I didn't know I had. And it's still a fight that I'm still fighting. I'd be the last person to tell you guys that it all gets better if you just believe, or something cliche like that. But on my part, you just got to want it. You got to want it more than anything, because the way I saw it, I was just tired of hearing my own negative voice in my own head, and that was the last straw. I just sought out to do things for myself and by myself. You know, I'm not as young as I used to be. Obviously, there are older people on this panel than me, but you know, I'm not as active or fit as I used to be, and I'm doing steps to try and eat leaner, work out a little bit, even though Kevin will definitely say I have not been doing that. This is true. But I do work 2 jobs, so that kind of does take a lot of time. But the main thing is that this around this time, I've been cosplaying for about maybe 3-4 years now, seriously cosplaying, and I'm now more honest with myself. I've recently come out as openly bisexual. And you know, having a character like Cora was really inspiring to me. So, you know, whatever gender orientation, sexual orientation, whatever you identify or whatever you're interested in, it's not, you know, cosplay is so much so for everybody. Like when I first saw Cora, she was just literally like my beacon, my light at the end of the tunnel, saying like, oh, there are people who are like me, who understand the feelings that I'm feeling. And while it's not like any like debilitating factor or anything like that, it's just something that to be able to be that open and honest with yourself, it opens so many doors, and you like meet so many people and make so many wonderful, wonderful relationships. And this community, while it can be dark and it can be not so welcoming at times, I will say that I have met the most amazing relationships through this community, and I've never felt more alive in my life. You know, you cut out all the toxic relationships and you really like do things for yourself, and you meet some amazing minds, you work with amazing people, you network, you know, hey, find somebody new to be with, you never know. But cosplay is for everybody, and I'll fight anybody who says otherwise. No, not really. But yeah, so I'm really thankful for this community, and I hope everyone does not shy away from cosplaying whoever they want to be, no matter what gender they are, whatever sexuality they portray. You can do anything, I promise.
Growing up, I was always like a husky kind of bigger kid. I loved eating. I still love eating, and I don't have a stopping sense, so it was always a problem, well, for everybody else besides me. But as I got to high school, I started putting on a weight. I was probably around 5'8", 9", and freshman year, around 220 pounds. And by the time I finished school, vocational school, I was about 260. And luckily, I had a friend who was trying to lose weight herself. She wanted a gym partner, so I started losing weight through the gym. I had gotten rear-ended in a car accident also, so I was going through physical therapy. Right now, still currently, my back is messed up. I have 6 bulging herniated discs. I bodybuild and powerlift to keep myself off the medication, and that is literally the only reason why I do it. I was okay. It's hard for me. It's easier for me, I should say, than it is for a lot of people, because I was okay being overweight. I was happy. It didn't really bother me at all. So, but the fitness aspect also taught me a lot of things when it came to what other people go through, because I see other people who want to do the same things that I'm doing. It may not mean the same for me, but it means differently for other people. So I try to help as many people as possible, you know, in that aspect. And like I said, I do a mix of powerlifting and bodybuilding, just to keep myself healthy and fit. Like everyone has a certain aspect of that it's kind of hard to portray it through like what you see through social media, because what you see is people flexing like this and all that stuff. But like honestly and truly, like it doesn't really even matter, because as long as you're healthy internally and externally, you can be overweight and run a 5K. You can be underweight and run a 5K. It's a matter of did you finish the race or not, you know? Can you do that? And that's what really matters. Are you actually healthy? Still, like I said, I love eating, so I'm still a fat kid. I ate throughout this entire con. I'm going to eat this entire weekend. I took the whole week off. I'm not doing no damn cardio. Like that, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, you have to have a balance, because it's not all about that. You know, I'm the more looser end of the spectrum, because you have to enjoy life, and you have to have your balance where you keep yourself accountable, I should say, where you're happy, and whatever that means for each individual is different. You know, that's very important, because what could be for you is happy, and what could be for you is not happy. So you have to find it for yourself, and then from that point on you go forward. I was tasked actually to talk about race for today, and in the cosplay community, it's pretty bad actually, with blackface and with race shaming, with ethnic Puerto Rican, Dominican, Spanish, even Asian people. So even Asian people. So it's rough, because you want to portray a character that you like, you watch on TV, you identify with the character through and through. They can be literally you, but different color. But you want to wear what they wear, you want to be who they are, and you feel you can't because you see that other people might be attacked by it. And honestly and truly, just do it. Try to face the opposition as best you can, and just block all that out, because it doesn't really matter in the end. It really, all that matters is that you portray the person that you feel is right for you. And for me, if you look at Instagram profile, I don't have a gender-specific characters or like that. I just portray characters. A lot of them are neutral. Like right now, I'm Team Skull. A lot of them in the game for Pokemon are white. But if you really see them in real life, they're probably going to be mixed colors. And I pick a nice neutral ground personally, just to keep the peace. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. You know, just portray whoever you want to be. If you want to be Superman, you're going to be Superman. If you want to be Catwoman, you be Catwoman. Like if you want to be Goku, well, Saiyans aren't a real race, so be black, Spanish, white, Chinese, doesn't really matter. You know, you're a Saiyan as far as what you're telling yourself in your head. And when anyone asks you, I'm a Saiyan. So what are you going to say to me? And that's it. You know, like, that's all that really matters. Like cosplay is for everybody, regardless of color. And you know, you just do what you want to do what you feel in your heart. And just try to be, you know, healthy, happy, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, no matter what. Just take care of all those things, and all of this just falls together.
Alright, so my name is Jake. I'm Irish and West Indian. I came to New York when I was about 6.5. I've been seriously cosplaying, I'd say about the same as Van, 3 or 4 years. A little bit about me, I come from a heavily athletic background, specifically soccer. Most of my family play or coach in some capacity, so it's always been something that I use to keep fit, to keep healthy, to keep active, and just, I feel like being part of a team teaches you a lot about yourself and as a person and how to be a leader and things like that. But the reason I really got into coaching is because when I was 16, I had a bad soccer injury, and then I ended up having 2 surgeries on my foot, and the doctor was like, well, you can never kick a ball again. I went to the park the same day and I was kicking the ball. I was like, okay, clearly he's wrong, but it would have came to a point where I would have had to take like Oxycontin or painkillers just to play 3 times a week, and nothing was worth that. So put yourself through possible addiction or anything just for the sport, even if you love it. So you have to look at life through, okay, how else can I be positive in different aspects of life? And I always thought coaching would be a great way for me to go, and that honestly I have more to give from a coaching perspective than playing with people on the field. There's more people I can influence and things like that. So I generally like to live my life and try to be as positive as I can, because if we're being honest, being positive is an everyday battle. There's nothing easy about it. I don't think it's easy at all. And it's a lot easier for me to be positive with people like this on the panel with me to help out. And if I ever have any doubts, I could ask, and that's personally something I believe in. So that's definitely why I feel like leadership, and definitely, so Jeff is race and my topic is adolescence, because I'm used to coaching the kids and stuff like that. But I think all of these topics, every one of us could probably speak on all of them, if we're being honest. So I'll pass it back to Kevin.
Thank you, Jake. So a lot of people, you know, talk about body positivity. You know, it gets kind of thrown into just weight. But for me, it's about being totally positive. And that is both, you know, an equal amount of both mind and body, because you can be, you know, and I'm just giving this as an example, you could be 500 pounds and love yourself, and you can love your body, but you know what? That's not the healthiest version of you, and unless you're 8'10", I don't know any 8'10" people. I don't even know that many people taller than me. But you know, it's really a good balance between it, because you know that's where you're going to find that a lot of the negativity will start going away, is when you get that balance. And in this cosplay world, environment, community, whatever you want to really define or call it, just being positive and doing what you want in it and having fun is the biggest thing I can tell you guys. Because you know what? Hell, I just watched My Hero Academia. I want to be All Might. You know why? Because he's always going out there with a smile, and that's how I feel. I always like those kind of characters. So, you know, again, it's just really going and just being positive. This cosplay community is for everybody. Just remember that. I actually had a question that was brought up to my attention the other day, and I want my panelists to kind of answer this question as well. And it's like, what not to do or what not to say to a cosplayer. And you know, there's a lot of things you can really not say, but really just, you know, for me, you know, it's not something that I don't say, it's something that I will say, and I always go about and I'll, you know, I'll say, wow, you have a great outfit, you know, oh, like, you know, if I don't even know what your outfit is, I'll say, hey, what is that from? Tell me a little bit about it, you know, and try to bring that positivity, try to bring, and you know, and gain friendships, and that's a lot of what I did here, you know, over the years at New York Comic Con. But what would you, like, what would you not say to a cosplayer?
I would never tell a cosplayer how to make their outfit better. I would never, ever do that. Me personally, I just know that, you know, like Jeff spoke about and Jake, being black, it's hard to try to, well, it was hard. Being around these guys made it easier, but it was hard for me to pick people. Jesus Christ. Okay, is it better? Okay, sorry. So it was hard for me to pick people to cosplay as, you know? But like I said, being around these guys, I don't even care anymore. I just pick somebody that I like and I do my best. Now, if something that I'm doing is a little off, I know it's off. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to tell me. I try to wear it the best way that I can. Don't come to me and say, you know, well, the shoes should have been that color. I know the shoes should have been that color. You don't think I tried to make the shoes that color? So, me knowing that, I would never tell somebody how to make their outfit better.
I have like a list. He took my number one, but I would never ask someone, do you actually watch that? Do you actually play that game? How much do you know about it? Like, I think that's such an elitist thing that some cosplayers do. They'll see a girl dressed up as something from a video game, and I've seen people question, like, I bet you never played that. And I'm like, who are you? Who voted you as the, you know, the in charge person of all video games and cosplaying? Like, it's just, you know, it's a prick thing to say. Let's just be real. And it's nothing that, you know, anyone needs to hear. People cosplay because they love to cosplay. That's it. None of your business why they did it. You know, so mind your business and enjoy the con. That's one of mine.
One of my biggest pet peeves is you say to a cosplayer, like, oh, I like your cosplay, but I've seen, do you know so-and-so? They actually did this, and I don't know, I guess theirs was a little bit better. It's like, why? Why would you think that that's an okay thing to say? like I only tried so hard and slaved over like 1,000 hours to make this cosplay, but you know, no big deal, right? Someone else just did it better. Finding community and others who cosplay the same thing as you is a good thing, but pointing it out to others that someone else did it better is not a good thing. Or if you look at someone else's cosplay and they're like, oh, you know, like, but I thought that this color was this and yours is different. And I was like, okay, well, if like either there's a store-bought cosplay or they interpreted that character to have this color on their outfit or whatever, that's their prerogative. Guess what? Anime is anime, movie is movie, pop culture is pop culture. It is all interpretive and it's all art. So therefore, you know, you can look however you interpret it and it's all beautiful. Just be aware that like, just go into each other's fandom and love each other because you guys all love the same thing and that's what really counts. And mind your business, yeah.
Mind your business.
Mind your business.
That's all. I guess sticking to my topic with race, people saying like, kind of backhanded compliments, like if you were, let's just say you have an Avengers group and there might be a black Tony Stark. Like, wouldn't it be better if you portrayed Black Panther? And there's actually a lot of that where people will find that, but there's not a lot of black or African American superheroes or anything like that. So people find that one person who might be even in the corner, couldn't you be better off if you did that? And the answer is no, because I want to do this. So that's it. Shut the up. Or mind your business, that's all. Mind your business. And enjoy yourself, you know? And it just sucks because a lot of the real world stuff, because it's so mainstream now, like before, the first time I came here was 2012. It was easy. And now it's like, it's pop culture now. So you have everybody bleeding into it, and you have everything you deal with in the real world here, except no one's going to confront. First off, no one's even going to, I can't speak for myself because I look scary to a lot of people. So, other people, I've heard comments, they'll say in passing. And even if you don't look like how I look or whatever, like, I might fight you, yeah. Would you say? No, like, but like, they'll say in passing, like, oh, black Superman. And then like, you turn around and it's like, oh, where'd that person go? I kind of want to punch him in the back of the head. But you can't do that. You know, it's messed up, you know, it's not nice. And people say that stuff and it's frustrating because it's just not right. So just portray whoever you want to be who you want to be and do what you want to do. And don't give a damn what anybody else says.
One thing I would definitely say is never tell someone like, oh, you could have done this, or you should have done this. And I would say, I wouldn't say 100% of the people who say that aren't even cosplayers. It's people who are just walking by and they don't even have the courage to do it themselves. So if you haven't done it, I really don't want to hear from you how to do it better. That's just my honest opinion, that's how I feel. Even if you have done it, we can take a picture together, but there's no reason, like they say, why to tell someone like, oh, you could have done this better, or your shade of pink is 2 shades too light. Like, are you for real? Seriously? Like, we're doing anime characters, we're portraying them how we feel like portraying them. You can do it how you want to do it, and it's perfectly fine. There's no issue. I see nothing wrong with it, so just let people do what they want to do, and you do what you want to do, and we're all here to enjoy ourselves and have fun and network and make friends.
Thank you, Jake. So basically, you know, again, this was more, again, to show, you know, not what to say to somebody, but, you know, I start thinking what to say. But what we're going to do right now, so we got some time, I want to open it up some Q&A from the audience. You know, this is a sensitive topic, but, you know, this is something that you can really teach a whole college course on. And to get it all in within an hour is very tough. But, you know, I do want to find out if anybody has any questions for us, just questions in general, what you think or how to act, or you just had any kind of question about cosplay, you know, let me know right now. Like, who has any questions? Of condition, or that and anything else. She does not want to see me get hurt, you know, like most parents. they care for their kids. But in the end, my mom is probably one of the best people in the world, and my dad and my mom don't get this, but I don't live with them, so but when I think my mom, finally saw the positive that I bring, but the fun that I have while doing this, when she saw me in the New York Post, and she went out and bought like 20 copies because she was proud of me. So, it was at different points, but, when it came to, soccer, it was after she saw I was really giving that effort into it, and to change myself. In college, there was, when you join a fraternity, the first semester is never the easiest. But I told her I promised I would turn it around. She believed me. She's always believed in me. But I'm one of those kind of people that if you tell me I can't do something, I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna prove you wrong. And I'm glad I did, because I think my life would be completely different if I didn't do that. So, thank you. Anybody else have any questions?